Hi, this is Dennis Nessler, editor-at-large Hotel Business Magazine. I'm here with Steve Joyce, President and CEO of Joyce Hotels International. Steve, I guess we'll start out just talk a little bit about the conference. I know there's more than 1,000 attendees here this year, up almost 10% over last year, which I kind of view as an indication of the growth of the industry right now. What are your thoughts on conditions right now?
Well, you can tell it's a very positive vibe, obviously, and there's a lot of enthusiasm. The one factor everybody keeps throwing around, the 59% of the attendees here are going to start a hotel in 14,
right,
which is actually, I think, great news. And so, but I think that the attendance here is representative of the general feeling that, hey, the industry's back. We're in for a pretty good run for the next 3-4 years at least. We've got great situations in supply-demand. RevPAR is growing nicely this year, and this year really, I think people are looking at it as, there's probably more upside than downside, and not so much people felt in previous years, but I think this year really people are going, you know what, we're in for a good run. This is going to be a good run, and you know what, if we get some help from the economy, it could be really fun for everybody involved.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you found the 59% that are looking for properties?
We've got our share, so we are, and we're pressing hard. So we've got a brand new program we've introduced for Comfort, which actually rolled out at this conference, and so with some major development incentives, mostly heavy key money, but we're crafting some different things for people that want something a little different. But we've got a great response from it, and we've got a big program going on with Comfort anyway, because we launched last year a big incentive for renovating and re-imaging their properties, which we spent a lot of time preparing. This has been in the building for about 2 years. We put $40 million of our own money out. That's getting to 375 hotels out of 1,000 that applied. We're putting this development incentive money out. We are getting much more aggressive terminating the hotels at the bottom of the system. So we're improving the overall brand itself. And then the rallying cry this year is driving more midweek business. We're pretty strong there now, but we think there's upside potential for us. So we're kind of doing this comprehensive approach to Comfort, which the franchisees are very excited about, and therefore excited to build new ones. Because the general feeling, I think, is if you're building it this year and opening into late this year or next year, you're going to have probably 3-4 years of strong tailwinds behind you, helping you achieve a stabilized performance that'll put you in good shape for the next cycle.
Right. Talk a little bit about Cambria. I know you've got C.A. Anderson on board to try to grow that brand, and I know it's been a real focus of yours. How's that coming along?
It's actually coming extraordinarily well. So C.A. has been a great addition to we were very fortunate to get him, and so with his network contacts and his development experience, we are, and his team are putting together a lot of package deals, which we're finding a very strong audience for. So we're still pushing on a couple of things, but I think we'll have 30 hotels under construction by the end of the year. We're opening some really important hotels for us. We're going to open Washington in about 2 weeks at the Convention Center, downtown D.C. We opened a hotel outside of Miami, and we're looking at a White Plains opening right downtown, right across from the Ritz, actually. And that's opening probably in 3 weeks. So a lot of the things that we've been working on are starting to get there. We've got two hotels under construction in Manhattan,
okay,
one at Times Square and one in Chelsea. And we've got several others underway. Phoenix, we're going to start in LAX. We've got one in West Orange. So Plano, there's just a bunch of deals happening. And we are excited about both the deals and the fact that they're in much more urban settings than the other initial hotels in the brand. So we think we'll get better performance out of them, and we think once the developers start seeing those returns, it's good. We're attracting a lot of private equity and pension fund money, which is important so our developers know there's an exit for them. So it's a pretty exciting time to be involved in Cambria. The numbers for the existing units are really coming up really nicely. They're running premiums for the most part, and the new ones we're opening we think are going to hit with a bang because they are in urban markets where we have lots of unmet demand. And so we are looking forward to seeing those open and channeling business their way and seeing how quickly we can run with this thing.
Mm-hmm. I know you mentioned in one of the panels this morning about the urban focus and how the numbers work better, I guess, if you can do that. Has it been difficult to find sites? I mean,
Yeah, and that's always the drawback. So we're actually bringing in more resources to put more sites together. We were fortunate in procuring some sites early, and so we're bringing some more folks in to help us do that. Obviously, in urban settings, it's a much more difficult process than trying to find just doing a greenfield site out in the suburban market. And so you gotta be willing to be creative. You got to be willing to be pretty bold when the opportunity exists. The Times Square deal, we were working with a partner who decided he was going to move on to something else, so we bought the land from him for $30 million. Now we've got a new partner in, and we're going to partner on that project with Concord Companies, and we're very excited at what we think is going to be a tremendous deal. But when you're putting that kind of money out, you're taking some risk, and so far it's looked like it's working well. And we're going to sort of double down on that effort because we want this brand to hit 100 hotels in a hurry, and we think we're in good shape to do that in the next couple of years.
Choice has traditionally been, from an economy to mid-scale segment in terms of its identity. You've got Cambria, obviously. You've got the Ascend collection. How is the effort to move the company profile up a little bit? How is that, proceeding?
Well, I think it's a worthy task because it's not easy. If you look historically, most brand companies have moved down cycle versus up cycle, so I think it adds a degree of difficulty. But I also think it makes it worth doing, and I think that's why our folks are excited about it, and proving to ourselves and proving to the industry that it can be done, and we are doing it, is a really fun proposition at this point.